Alright guys, we're going game hunting again here on a Saturday in Japan. Just happened to look over here when I got to the first store here, first thrift store, and looks like somebody backed up a little too far. Hey guys, Grown-Ass Nerd here, and welcome back to another episode of Game Hunting in Japan. Here we have a nice translucent green N64 controller by Hori, and a nice golden one over here. Now in this glass case there's a bunch of used items, they're all untested. Game Boys, there's some SPs up there at the top, and there's actually a Sega Game Gear here for about 20 bucks, untested. Almost picked it up, but already have two working, so I'll just leave that here for someone else. Here's a nice find. It's actually the dual turbos for the Sega Genesis. They're just wireless infrared controllers. I would have picked them up, but they had a very steep price tag. Now this is something I really wanted to pick up, Sonic & Knuckles for the Mega Drive, but the price tag was just not for me. And here we have Ys. It's a pretty cool find. It's got all the little floppies inside, so it says. But I really had no use for that thing. Here we got a bunch of mixed up controllers here, N64 and GameCube. Oh, there's a Super Famicom Multitap. The Neo Geo for almost 350 bucks, that said. You got your Super Famicom Minis up there, N64, Super Famicom. Down here you've got some Game Boy Advance games mixed around with some Game Boy games and a few Game Boys to play with. Looks like a Dreamcast down here for 30 bucks and a PC Engine for around 70 bucks. Alright, more Mega Drive games. I've got most of them already, but this one I did not have, Cyblade, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up. And here's a little bin with a bunch of manuals in it. I usually go through these really quickly. Sometimes I've got a few of these games with no manual, so I'll snag some of those if I need them. Here's a Super Famicom games box. Here's a PlayStation 2 games. Over on this side, you actually have a demo where you can actually play the system and the games. Here's a 64 wall. Bunch of Game Boy Advance games. Famicom games. Now, this is something you don't see all the time. It's Athena for only $13. So I'm probably going to pick this up. I mean, the cart's kind of nasty looking, but it's $13, and I usually see it go for like 30 or more. If it's boxed, just forget about it. There's Super Mario USA. Here's the Super Famicom's loose. See Star Fox down there. Here's Bonk's Adventure, the sequel. Oh, and look, I found another Athena. This one's in better condition for the same price. So here I found the guy playing a demo. It looks like it's Holy Diver. Yep, that's definitely Holy Diver. And here's a Buster Sword I found from Final Fantasy VII. They wanted 60 bucks for it. Almost picked it up, but it had a chip on the end, so I ended up passing on it. Still pretty sweet though. Here's another store, all kinds of consoles wrapped up and ready to go, all in working condition. Some Dreamcasts, boxed. Sega Mega Drives, boxed. Oh, a Ni no Kuni Magical Edition for the PS3. I can never say the name. Ni no Kuni? Here's some N64 games boxed, some Mega Drive games boxed. They got Bomberman 2 here boxed. It's pretty neat. And Bare Knuckle. They want 40 bucks for this. You might know it as Streets of Rage in the States, but I'm not gonna pay 40 bucks for it. I really love the artwork on all the Japanese titles here. They make the games look so interesting. Unfortunately, a lot of them tend to be like puzzle games that you could only understand if you were reading kanji. Looks like they have Space Raiders for the GameCube up here. I might get that, might not. Let's see, Mega Man Network game. And we have Mario Kart for the 64. I already have that box though, so leave it there for someone else. Now they have Mother 2 here for a decent price. Now here's Front Mission Gun Hazard for a decent price as well. I'm gonna pass on that one though. Let's see, Famicom Loose games. Over here we got Super Famicom Loose, as well as Nintendo 64, and here we have Smash Brothers. I'll probably go ahead and pick this up and use it for a giveaway. Here we got some PSP games. I like these big boxed PSP games because you never know what's going to come inside of them. Usually some cool coins or pictures, posters, and they're fairly cheap. Usually I find these big boxed games for like $5 to $15. Well, look here. A big boxed PS3 game. Guess how much it's for? $5. That's it for this big box. I see this all the time. It's not like it's rare or anything. It's pretty ridiculous how cheap some of these games are. They come in the big collectibles sets like this. It's ridiculous. Here we got Beyond Two Souls for the PS3. This actually comes with the English version as well. Over here I noticed some Virtual Boy games. I'm always looking for boxed Virtual Boy games, and Tetris is one that I do not have, so I'm definitely picking that up. The other ones I seem to have, except for this Galactic Pinball. I know I have the game, but I can't remember if I have it boxed. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up just in case. And the Bomberman, I know I for sure have that one boxed. Right here we have Super Mario Kart for the Super Famicom. I don't have this boxed yet, so I'm for sure going to pick this one up. Now over here I also noticed a Super Mario Bros. All-Stars boxed. I usually see this thing go for a pretty steep price. This one's actually decently priced, so I'm going to go ahead and snag that one too. We have an untested Game Boy over here for roughly $25. I almost picked that one up, but I've already got one working just fine, so here's a Famicom boxed for 40 bucks. I found one in Tokyo before for 20 bucks and it works just fine, so I mean I don't need an extra one. Here's a really cool game to check out for the PlayStation 1. Here's another multi-tap for the Super Famicom. It's a little bit more than what I want to pay for it. I've seen it for a lot cheaper, so I'll pass on that. There's always kinds of wacky, weird controllers in these bins here. They mostly work. I usually have pretty good luck with those. Here's Lemmings on the 3DO. I have a 3DO. I'm always looking for more games. This is boxed. Looks like it's in great condition. Unfortunately, once again, the price tag has me putting it back on the shelf. Bomberman Wars. Rockman X8. Some pretty cool titles here, but I mean the prices are just... They're not going to fly off the shelves, that's for sure. Fatal Frame 2. This is actually the English one. This is the US release. You see it says import on there, but they want 40 bucks for it. Nah, not for me. I have no nostalgia for that game, so it's going to stay there. Tomb Raider. I already have. Here's Lunar for the Sega Saturn. It's only $5. $5. And this is the Silver Star story. A few interesting RPGs in here. Thunderhawk 2. I'm always trying to add to my collection on the Sega Saturn. I do not have enough of them. Clockwork Knight, $5. And I'm browsing some more of the 3DO games over here. So we've got, what do we got here? This weird thing right here. I don't know what it's about. Looks like maybe a puzzle game, but I don't know. There's some anime girls getting undressed, so that's kind of strange. Pretty cool. This is by Crystal Dynamics, so it might be pretty good. Please not. I see this around a lot. Looks like there's a lot of reading involved. The Horde. I actually have this one already. Some of these games look pretty interesting, but you just never know what you're going to get until you plug it in and play it. So sometimes it's a big gamble. But this one here looks pretty neat. It's a cool FMV. Illusion City. Man, I wish I could read kanji. Another one. These RPGs look like they'd be fantastic, but I'm not going to be able to read them. It's a shame. Ah, Puzzle Bubble. Very cool. Fun game. Plus, I love the Bubble Bobble games, so that holds nostalgia for me. Here's the PC Engine games. Some of the Hue cards. Neo Nectris by Hudson Soft. Looks like a pretty decent game. It's like a top-down sci-fi war type game. Might try that out. And Afterburner 2. Great game. I do not have this one yet. And Power Drift. Now, looking at this game, it looks pretty freaking fun. I've seen gameplay for it, and it looks amazing. But it is almost $30, and it's hard to gamble that much money on a game that you're not too sure about. Hey guys, as usual, thanks for watching the video. Now I'm going to go home and do a pickups video and show you everything I got from this weekend. So I'll see you over there.